unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetic. This is the Retail Warzone podcast.
There were some technical difficulties. Our guest for the evening is actually experiencing brownouts where they are, which is rolling power outages from the heat and stuff like that. So we will reschedule for a later time. It's all good. No issues, no problems. I changed the intro screen to a big question mark because who the hell knows what we're going to talk about. So I don't know who we got here. We may not have much of anybody here. This will just be a random thing. And what I'll probably do is Wednesday night, we'll be talking about the stay in your lane, know your role thing. So Irish, I know you've had a very interesting 24 hours and I know you were tired as hell. Would you care to inform the chat real quick what you put up with? He got one of those dreaded late night alarm calls. And actually this time it was people involved. So that's crazy. So the one thing I do want to do real quick is I want to go over the schedule for the next few weeks. Like I said, Wednesday, probably do the stay in your lane episode. But after that, we've got next Monday, we've got Matt Mitchell. And it's a very important one to me because Hero's birthday is next week and she loves that group's set of videos. So I think it's a proper birthday present for Hero. So everybody show up Monday to wish her a happy birthday. Then I don't really have anything planned for the week of July 4th. Obviously I'm not going to do a stream on July 4th. I'm just not going to. So if I do something, it'll be on a Monday. Now, a lot of what I'm getting ready to go through, these are Mondays. Wednesday's still going to be the day. But as we go through and I have different people come on, I can do a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, it's kind of unfair. Somebody may have something to say and they can't be here Wednesday night. That's okay. So if they can be here on Monday or Friday, we'll do that. No. Maybe it is the 4th. I don't know. If Monday's the 4th, then we'll have a Wednesday episode. So, but on July 11th, we have Ryder Reigns from Twitter. That's going to be a good one. On July 18th, we're going to have Would You Like Shots With That, who are doing a documentary on the pharmaceutical industry and being a pharmacist. So they're kind of starting a summer tour to get on different podcasts and whatnot and talk about the documentary that they're doing. So that's going to be really, really cool. The Summer of Steve. No, it's too hot to have a Summer of Steve. Wait till fall, it'll be on. And then on July 25th, I am so happy with this one. She's a favorite in the community and, I sent her some messages last night trying to figure out what her schedule was. And, because she's actually, in a different country. So Monday, July 25th, we're going to have Manager Cranky, and that's going to be great. We've had her on the inaugural episode of the retail therapy sessions, and she was fantastic. Super sharp, super smart, knows the business, knows how it works. So having said that, I don't really have a lot to say. I don't know. I do want to give a shout out to all the Guitar Center folks that are out there right now, because I just realized about 2.5 hours ago that Guitar Center has started their purge again. And in some stores that are like in really big markets, they're laying off 80% of their staff or whatnot. If they're not laying them off, they're actually telling full-time employees they have to go part-time if they want to keep the job, and they're only leaving managers as full-time employees. So the purge is bad. Irish says Monday is the 4th. The next day is my wedding anniversary, so trust me on that. Okay, I trust you. So we'll do something on that Wednesday. Russell says happy early birthday, Hero. Also, in the news today, there was an article about inventories, being heavy for retailers because, they got so much stuff in from the backlog of supply chain. Well, that's right, Mad Dog. Your birthday's the same day. So Mad Dog and Hero share the same birthday. So there you go. Fun facts. But inventory's blowing up from a lot of people. There's something I do want to kind of touch on a little bit. All right. So if anybody's watching out there that works somewhere where you carry private label merchandise, let's say it's Target and you work there and they carry Archer Farms, or Walmart carries Great Value. Something has been going on that I think we all need to keep a watch on. Most of us kind of equate store brand merchandise to value, right? So you go in somewhere and, there may be a Stouffer's frozen pizza, right? But then Walmart has a Great Value frozen pizza, and Great Value, it's cheaper, right? And so you buy the store brand, whether it be medications, food, whatever, because it's cheaper. And, if you don't know, I mean, those are major manufacturers that usually make this stuff. I mean, it was, you've got different brand name companies that, they have contracts with different retailers and like grocers to manufacture their private label. Well, I think what we're going to start seeing is private labels going away temporarily, because obviously there's some issues in the food manufacturing business right now. Okay. There's been a ton of accidents and all sorts of crazy stuff going on at food production plants and all this other stuff. So you've got companies that are making private label brands for people that are going to have to put brakes on and say, no. We've got to protect our brand, our name brand. So you guys are shit out of luck. So we're not going to make this for you. And I challenge everybody to kind of, take a look at where you shop and places that have private label, see if it starts disappearing, because I think we're going to see that really hot and heavy here over the next 6 to 12 months, because obviously, these big brand production facilities, whether it be, Pepsi, McCormick, Kraft, the list goes on and on. They're going to do everything they can to shift resources to their brand names and tell everybody, well, you're shit out of luck for private label. And I understand that. I mean, it's a huge business proposition. I get it. But just kind of keep that in the back of your mind as you're shopping, and start noticing, staples, just random things. Something as simple as, a store brand shredded Parmesan cheese, or, whipping cream, or, basics, right? I'm not talking about like gourmet stuff, just your basics, bacon bits. It could be anything, right? Pasta noodles, and start observing, is it going away, or are you seeing more brand name merchandise being stocked and less private label? Because I'm telling you guys, it's coming. So those private label brands that you were, counting on for, savings, they're not going to be there. Not for a while. They'll come back. This isn't going to be like something that's going to be gone forever. But with the way the economy is so fucked up right now, and the way that, a lot of these manufacturers are kind of in hot water, just being able to get their own brand name product out, the last thing they really give a shit about is private label merchandise. So be taking a look at that. Hybrid says the arson conspiracy. Well, I know it's one of those deals where there's a lot of stuff out there, information that kind of lends credence to that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with the food supply chain right now, and I'm kind of confused about it. You know, I'm kind of one of those people that there are no coincidences, and these are verifiable things. And when you could see a news blurb say, "Oh, such and such chicken plant burnt to the ground." You're like, "Oh, well, that sucks." But then you start looking and you're like, well, another chicken plant burnt to the ground, or this plant burnt to the ground. And you start looking at, well, why is it's a pretty large swath of food production places that have had some sort of accident or whatnot. Quite honestly, I don't think there's a conspiracy behind it. I think that there may be some insurance fraud behind it. You know, if you've got a company that produces such and such, you know, whether it be chicken, you know, whatever their specialty is, and they're in the hole coming out of the pandemic. Oh, all of a sudden place burns to the ground. We'll get the insurance money and we'll peace out. Bye. So I think it's more of that. Hybrid says, you forget I live in the chicken capital of the world. Oh, no. You really don't, because we got plenty of chicken plants here, bro. A lot. I'd have to look at the numbers. So Joey K, welcome. Haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you're doing well. It's not suspicious when a chicken plant has a fire. It is suspicious when every chicken plant has crippling fires. Correct. That is what I'm getting at, is if you look at the food supply chain, and I saw something today, and I've got to go verify it or whatnot. I'm not going to post it or anything, but supposedly it was a warning from the FBI talking about ransomware for a bunch of different companies and issuing a warning about grain. Now, I'm not here to, spout off, lies or whatnot. And if that is actually true, I mean, there has been talk about, look at what's going on with the war, with Russia and Ukraine. Grain exports are a big deal. And common sense will tell you, if you understand how imports and exports work and what grain is actually involved in and what is derived from it and made from it, yeah, there's going to be some problems. So I think we're in for a rough ride, probably closer to the end of the year. But I don't think it's going to be on typical stuff. I think it's going to be on kind of, as Hero would say, bougie stuff. We had a discussion the other night. As long as there's canned beans or dried beans, I'm good. I'll survive. So it's okay. Look at some other stuff here. Mad Dog says, the Big Lots near me had tons of empty shelves today. Even turned the air off in the store to conserve energy. It was hot as hell. Oh, that's no good. Russell says, a 24 pack of Dr. Thunder was $8 today. Used to be about $6.50. So that's Dr. Thunder. That's Walmart stuff, if I'm not mistaken, because I know you used to bring those 12 packs to work all the time. Let's see. The 5,000 cows that died in Kansas. That is correct. Joey, that is a perfect statement. Companies will jump on the chance to price gouge and blame that. Yes. And I kind of see it like this. Everything's going up in price. Everything. I mean, and we know this. So you've got companies out there that I'm sure are raising prices legitimately due to cost and things like that. I don't for a minute believe that's not fact, okay? But you're going to have other companies out there who aren't having the same problem, who kind of mix in with the economy and see the opportunity to be like, oh, well, this item cost us $2 and we sell it for $4. Well, now it costs us $2.50. Let's sell it for $5. So they may have a 50-cent increase in cost, but they're raising the price and their margin by going up $1 on the sales price. So I do believe there's a whole hell of a lot that going on. And I don't know how you combat it. And I don't know how it'll ever be discovered or if it'll ever, come out publicly that that's happening, but I guarantee you that's what's going on. Because there are companies out there right now trying to hide in the midst of the weeds and jack up prices because everything's so fucking cattywampus, as they would say right now with the economy. No doubt that's going on. And look, I don't endorse the habit. I'm a smoker, okay? Where I work, the cigarettes I smoke are almost $10, all right? I go to a convenience store today, and it's like $1.50 cheaper. I mean, and we're talking a single convenience store. There's no chain. It's one set of owners. There's not like multiple. It's just one convenience store. So if they're able to sell that pack of cigarettes for that price, what's going on elsewhere? So I was like, whoa. And I didn't even realize that until today. I'm like, holy shit, man, it's $1.50 off. So Irish says inflation hit a 40-year high in Ireland last month. Yeah. And I do agree, Irish. I saw where you talked about how much, 20% of the world's wheat comes from Ukraine. I mean, 20% sounds like a small number. When you look at the whole planet, that's a pretty good clip, man. That's a lot of wheat, a whole lot of wheat. Thank God for Arizona tea. Oh no, it's nasty. And also, I saw where the owner of Arizona tea was talking about how he would not raise the price, but evidently the prices went up. Because I work with somebody who is dedicated to the 99-cent tea, and I saw a meme where it was like, when my children ask, I will say this is the day that the revolt started, and it was 2 cans of Arizona tea, and one was 99 cents, and the other one was $1.29. So it's coming. And that's a good benchmark, Hybrid, to be honest with you. If Arizona tea goes up to $1.29, either they gouging or it's really that bad. And there's no real way to tell. I mean, that's why I put on Twitter, I would love for somebody to reach out to me and, show me that they have documented proof that their company's gouging. Because, look, man, we've been in this business a long time, and we know how these companies work. I'm telling you, there is some serious gouging going on out there. And, it's the profit margins, I ran a poll one time, and everybody, it might be Hybrid, I don't know, talking about what do you consider an acceptable profit margin and what do you consider gouging. And if I'm not mistaken, anything over 30%, the poll decided was gouging. And I kind of agree with that. A 30% profit on anything you sell is pretty fucking good. I mean, that's not bad, and that's enough to sustain business. So, it just is. But I think there's a lot of shenanigans going on right now, and there's no governmental oversight. And I know there's an investigation going on, but I think it's only select places. I think there needs to be a broad investigation, especially across the food industry. Honestly, I think, grocery stores all the way across the country need to be kind of held accountable for this because it's getting bad. And, what's up, Tiffany? Walmart aimed for 33% back in 97. So there you go. Fun facts with Tiffany. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a bit. Haven't seen you in the store. Where have you been? Anyway, but it's just crazy. Irish says, look at car insurance. Claims down 50% during COVID when everyone was working from home. The cost of insurance remained the same. There you go. Look, don't get me started on insurance. I think insurance is the biggest fucking crock of shit in the United States ever. I mean, you get health insurance or car insurance and you don't have a wreck for like 10 years. And so you don't ever need to use the insurance, but you paid that damn money and you ain't getting it back. You paid for nothing. Think about that. is like health insurance, which is way overpriced anyway. Let's say in your perfect health, look at how much money you gave away for however many years before the first time you had to go to the hospital or the doctor. You just gave them your money. You never going to get it back, ever. And Hero and I were talking, last night. I mean, look, I'm 52 years old, and I'm pretty sure by the time I hit retirement age, there's going to be no retirement and there's going to be no social security. So we're all going to have to work until we die. That's just it. I really believe that's what's going on. Tiffany says, I can't afford groceries after filling up my Jeep. Lord, the gas prices are something else. That meme where 7-Eleven prophesies it, it was like, you see the 7-Eleven sign in 7-Eleven. But there's, I'm not going to get in that whole thing, but there's a whole lot of factors behind the gas prices. It's not one person. I just won't throw that out there. But that's fucked up too. I mean, the gas prices, fortunately, I only live 10 minutes I can walk to where I work in 10 minutes. I don't care. I'm good. It'll only suck because I'm in the deep south and it's like 8 fucking billion degrees outside right now. So I might melt before I get to work, but at least I can try. I'll give it the good college try. Joey K says they need to fix gas first, less per barrel than in 2008, but more expensive at pump. That is a beautiful point. That's something everybody needs to look at. It's less per barrel than in 2008, but more expensive for gas. And gas, is like something I'd read. It's like a downstream product. They don't drill for gas. Okay. They drill for oil. Gas is the byproduct of drilling for oil. So that's a good thing. Why is it that it's less per barrel, but we're paying more at the pump? And I'm sorry, I'm telling you, it's greed, and it's the oil companies. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Just do the financial, look at the financial reports. Look at how much profit these oil companies like Exxon and what are making. It's like astounding. They're making money hand over fist. They could drop the price easily. They don't. And until somebody steps up, we do need a governmental body that kind of regulates energy, like really regulates it. Because I'm sure, as these heat waves go up and whatnot, the kilowatt rate's going to go up higher too. And let's jump on out of this rabbit hole now. I am. Joey K, at the end of each fiscal year, you should be able to go to your insurance company and go, hi, I ended up never using it. So like the money I gave you either apply to next year. Yes, Joey K, you are my hero. I honestly believe that's the way it should be, because look at the amount of money we throw into insurance that we never use. And you're 100% right. If you pay, let's say you just opened up a car insurance policy with, whoever, Geico or whatever. You go through that first year paying all the premiums and you're not in an accident, you should get, the next year you shouldn't have to pay anything. You should not have to pay anything until you tap into what you've paid. Then because that's something I just don't understand why there's not enough uproar over. You're just throwing money away. And you guys that work retail, look at how much it costs to get insurance. Most people that work retail don't even get insurance because it eats up, especially if you have a family, it eats up half your fucking paycheck. Half your paycheck. And you may not use it. So you're just throwing money away. And that's just bullshit. Tipsy says, and the talk about the tax on gas is used for road construction to maintain the roads. Hey, I know where we live, and that's a lie because our roads suck. Hybrid says, I use the Iris app and can see senators and Congress trade. So many bought Chevron. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's the system's rigged against every bit of us. Russell says, and why does my credit score affect my insurance premium? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Quite honestly, we're at a very volatile point in history in the United States with, workers' rights and pay scales and things like that. The credit score, I'm going to be real honest with you. My prediction is by, 2022? So I'm going to say by 2030, the credit score goes away. Somebody somewhere is going to file some sort of lawsuit that is discriminatory, and they're going to win. And it's going to have to cause a major restructure of the credit industry. I mean, and look at this. I mean, the housing industry's about to pop again. We didn't learn a lesson last time. So the housing industry is about to explode. Crypto is tanking, and it's a really bad thing. And, from a worker standpoint, how many of you are fully aware of what the Federal Reserve said? How many of you are fully aware that Federal Reserve said we need to lower wages to combat inflation? One more time. The Federal Reserve said when they raised the interest rates that we need to lower wages in order to eliminate inflation. So they won't pay you less, while the people at the top keep making all the money. But that's documented fact. Hybrid, I know you asked about that, and I pulled up the articles and shared them and whatnot. We're in a bad spot right now, real bad spot. It's a powder keg financially for middle class and lower class. Something's got to give, Joey K says, well, credit scores are designed to keep you at a disadvantage. 1 million ways to negatively affect them, but almost nothing can improve them. Yes, God, you read tons of stories about where people have zero balances on credit cards and their credit score gets dinged because they're not using it. That's bullshit. Your credit score should go up, I would assume, if you're not using credit cards. You have one in your name that carries a zero balance, guess what? Hey, that should be good, right? And I'm not sure of the exact date. If somebody wants to look it up for me real quick, I don't think credit scores came into play until like the late 70s, if I'm not mistaken. So what happened before then? Why, credit scores for a long time were used, and even still today, some jobs that you apply for, they want to check your credit. I don't understand how the fuck your credit decides whether or not you're going to be a good employee or not. I think that's stupid. Let's see. Russell, you didn't know that? Oh, yeah. The Federal Reserve is its own entity. And I don't understand how the fuck that happened and how they control everything, but they sure as fuck do. Hybrid says, I have a 750 still going up, and with a shit ton of medical debt that I'm never going to pay back shows it means nothing. Yep. But see, Irish says, credit scores are not a thing here. There you go. Joey K says, if it were really meant to be fair to everyone, you would start at birth with an 800 by default. If you never fuck up, it stays perfect. Whoa, that's a good point. Joey K for office 2024. Let's go. Hero says 1989 was when the credit score. What? Wow, I thought it was earlier than that. Oh, Mad Dog, same thing. Well, that's even worse. I graduated high school in 88, so I guess that, we were the guinea pigs. Tiffany says, I paid off my car, totaled it the next month. My credit score literally went down because I did not have an open line of credit. See? And, it's kind of funny. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I did see Fight Club. And, the whole end where they blow up the buildings and they're getting rid of, all these financial institutions and whatnot. Boy, that would be kind of satisfying, wouldn't it? Because, what is it? A credit score doesn't take into account hardship. Let's say somebody, for instance, Joey, you start at 800 and you stay perfect. You have a death in the family. You have some unexpected thing. Or Well, I mean, God, we know medical bills affect it, right? Let's say all of a sudden you're in a car wreck. You've got all these medical bills, all this stuff. No human being can just pay it outright, right? So you're living paycheck to paycheck anyway. You pay $10 a month or whatever you can afford, and your credit score goes down. That's bullshit. Hybrid says, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie started credit scores. Ooh. So can we blame Vanilla Ice for it? We should. Credit, baby. Russell, that's correct. A few years ago, 650 was good. Now it's crap. And look, I don't know if you guys have really paid attention to... Hold on. Hero says the retail war zone does not encourage nor condone blowing up buildings with a cathartic response. No, I'm talking about making soap. Make soap. Yeah. But, you know, credit score, I mean, and people get hung up on it. Oh, I got to have a good credit score. There's no such thing as debtor's prison, right? I mean, I'm not saying go default on shit and whatnot. I mean, it happens. There's certain situations where shit goes down. But, you know, it's very kind of discriminatory in a way, you know, because once you're in a hole, you're in a hole. And then it becomes another money-making scam. It's like, oh, all these companies are like, hey, there's information we know how to get your credit score back up that you as the general public can't know. So if you pay us a bunch of money, we'll talk to the credit agencies and we'll fix your shit. Everything's gate kept, you know, and it's crazy. It's absolute crazy. You know, anywhere there's money to be made, you know, you've got people there, you know, to make money, to lower your tax debt. You've got people there to make money to improve your credit score. All these things. Instead, there's always a middle person that's making money and guarantee that somewhere, somehow, there's some sort of connection and that money funnels to another entity that's in charge of it all, you know? Joey K, it's really just an indicator of how likely they can make money off of you. You can't be fiscally smart and never use money you don't have, or you just don't get correct. Yeah. I mean, it's, yeah. I mean, it really is a bait and switch, man. I mean, it's awful. And, you know, look, there's people out there who've worked really, really hard and they're wealthy now. All right. It was a different time. You know, when you look at billionaires and whatnot, look how old they are, you know, most of them. And, you know, there's people out there. Hey, Blame Tag. Hi. But, you know, there's something to be said about working your way, you know, up. And there's a lot of people who did make a lot of money by working hard. And you know, but those days are over now. You know, you hear all these rich folk talking about, well, you just need to work hard and blah, blah. The system's so stacked against everybody. They don't want to let anybody else in their club. Okay. They don't, you know, there's, what was it? George Carlin said, you know, there's a club and you're not in it. Right. And that's where we're at. And it is sad because there's a lot of good people out there who are hurting and have financial problems and whatnot and wish they could make more money and things like that. And it's just not happening. And you know, it's really kind of funny because I still see all the memes and all the arguments where, well, minimum wage hasn't went up in 12 years. Well, that's true. It hasn't. And I don't understand why we don't flip that script and say, minimum wage has only went up $7 in 83 years. That to me sounds much more impactful. In 83 years, the minimum wage only went up $7. 83 years. Somebody do the math for me real quick. $7 divided by 83. So how much has minimum wage went up a year? Well, hybrid, yeah. And you know what? And that's another thing too. You know, there's people out there that are enterprising and figure out how to make money, you know, but hybrid, if you weren't working where you were working, would you be doing that? You know, you found a way to make the system work for you instead of you working for the system. But if you weren't working there, and didn't figure out what was going on, would you be doing that right now? You know, not everybody has an opportunity. Raise your hand if you do work hard, but still aren't a billionaire. Everyone here. Tiffany, don't be selling feet pics on the internet. I don't think your husband would approve. Don't believe you. Just saying. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's the financial situation is really bad. And it really just always seems like when things go bad, it's the middle class and the lower class that suffer. And, you know, talking about that, you know, I'd posted the study that came out a couple of weeks ago about the largest number of people that died, you know, in the workforce from COVID were all, guess what? Retail services industry. The people that were deemed essential. And, you know, just want to put this out there that for those companies that stayed open during the pandemic because they were quote unquote essential, they had two choices. They could either take care of their crews or they could bow to the consumer and do whatever the consumer wanted just so they got the money. And they bowed to the consumer and they sold you workers out. 110% did. It's a very stellar, you know, number. And when I say stellar, I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, it's a large number of people that we lost that died during the pandemic because they were forced to work in an essential business with constant contact with the public. You know, think about it. And it doesn't matter what anybody's opinion is, okay? I don't care if you think a mask is bad or good, all right? Doesn't matter. What I'm saying is these companies, with not knowing what we were up against, as soon as the customer started complaining, I don't want to wear a mask, I don't want to do this, they changed the rules so they could get those people's dollars and not care about the employees. And anybody who thinks otherwise is foolish, because that's exactly what happened. You got sold out. Like Hero says, cannon fodder. It's kind of like the joke that you put like the rookies on the front line of war and let them get eat up first before the heavy hitters go in. It's terrible. And that's something that I see repeated a lot. You know, you talk about how businesses have had trouble hiring. How about the fact that how many people died? They're no longer in the workforce. And then while we're on that topic, the economies went to shit, right? And so these same assholes that said, hey, we need to get rid of all the extended unemployment, all the protections for these people, we need to get them back to work. And guess what's going on? Everybody's getting their hours cut or they're getting laid off. You weren't really so essential, were you? It's all been a shell game. It's been a shell game from the beginning. It's just like right here on the screen it says, employees are more than a controllable expense. But guess what? To the guys in charge, you are. All this crying, all this whining in the news. We can't hire anybody. We need the people come back from remote work and come back to the office. We need employees. And the reason no one wants to work is they're getting this unemployment and they're sitting at home and it's just free money. And here we are. I think they ended it, July 2021 is when the benefits went away, right? So from July 2021, we are now here in June 2022. So technically speaking, in less than a year, the same people they were bitching about getting all this quote unquote free ride, not coming to work. Now they're cutting them. And what's even worse is now they're cutting the tech industry too. It's a shit show because they're not cutting corporate office. The CEO still going, it comes down to what the bottom line is. So they consider payroll a controllable expense. They always have. And that's the first thing to go. Just like I said at the beginning of the stream, Guitar Center just started cutting people. It was either we're going to lay you off Or if you're full-time, we're going to make you part-time and get rid of your benefits. Everybody got sold out. Y'all ain't important. It goes back to Blaine Tag's shirt that he made, that I bought my wife. Essentially ignored. So here we are. They stripped all the protections, all the benefits away, and now they can throw you out like trash. It's a bullshit world. And it's awful. Joey K says, my work started splitting our truck, so we do half one day and half another just so they could have everyone leave 1 hour earlier each day. So now I go slower and show up late in mock management. Not all heroes wear capes. Remember that. Russell says, the thing as a country, we pay out stupid amounts of money on entertainment. Look at the top 5 players, major sports clubs, same for Hollywood. Look, who you talking to? We used to talk about that at work. The biggest, look, I would love to make a lot of money. I really would. Okay. But I will die on this hill. Out of all professions out there, teachers have been screwed the most. I think it's asinine that we have hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many teachers there are in the United States. Okay. But we have this number of people who dedicated their life to teaching our children, right? And you got some guy who can make $16 million, in a signing bonus just to go play football. And I love football. All right. I do. And I have a really big problem with what's going on with college football now. We're now paying college athletes. Now, I'm not saying that a college athlete that plays for a school that brings in a lot of revenue shouldn't get something, but I do believe, as my favorite college coach says, it should be tied to their graduation. It should be tied to their schooling. And it's awful. Guys, think about this. We have college football players right now making millions of dollars. And we have great teachers who have thrown their hands up in the air and said, I quit, I'm leaving the profession. Terrible. So years from now, when people complain about that generation of children and how they're, y'all all to blame for that shit. I'm telling you, every teacher, I don't care. I posted something. Irish sent me something on how much teachers make in Ireland. You guys, I posted it on Twitter. You should check it out. It's really frightening. We are so terrible in how we treat our educators. Terrible. And, I've tried real hard to get teachers on the show. Nobody wants to bite. And I understand why, but I think it is one of the most abused professions in the United States, period. Empire Records is a great movie. Indeed. Yes. Teachers and nurses, police, if they're trained right, employees, firefighters, definitely. I mean, the physical that firemen have to go through is crazy. Eric says, my first year as a teacher with an MA in linguistics, I was paid $36,000 in South Carolina. I make $45,000 as a driver team lead at Chick-fil-A. Eric, that's the problem. And you know that. So you're making more as a team lead at Chick-fil-A. And look how much your college education costs. That's a travesty, man. And that's another thing. We talk about, unpaid internships, which is bullshit, right? I think that if you choose to be a teacher, I think your tuition should be free. I do not think you should have to go into debt to be a teacher. I think at that point in time, if you're wanting to become a teacher, you're going to become part of a state-affiliated organization. You shouldn't have to pay. That should be fronted by the state, period. And, because they deserve better. I mean, these are the people that, raise our kids when we're not there, right? And, I'm sorry, teachers are just abused. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be the way it is. Hybrid says, I'm ready for another Irish episode to talk about the difference inflation has had between the states and across the lake. Hey, Irish, if you're still there, if you haven't fallen asleep yet, because I know it's late and you were up late last night, how about this? All my Wednesdays are open. I don't have anything scheduled for any Wednesdays. For whatever reason, because people's availability, I've got Mondays. So pick a Wednesday, Irish, and we'll talk about that. That'd be great. People going to get mad. People will get mad. But I will say this, if we're talking about gas, I know how like people like to point fingers. Well, it's like that everywhere across the world. It's not just here. So when you look at it, see, that's the thing. That's a problem with us as a country is we like to look inward and we like to think, oh, everything here in the United States. Well, if it's happening all over the world at the same clip, guess what? It's an international problem. It's not, hey, that guy did this shit. Just fact. Real quick, Irish, how much is petrol per gallon right now in Ireland? Just curious. I know here, Hero, how much is it here now? What was the last time we got gas? How much was it? Well, Russell, no, I'd agree if they finish school and teach for a certain, yes, that's part of it. Yes, they'd have to finish the curriculum. You know, they would be required to pay back anything if they didn't make it. And that's probably a good benchmark because you want people that want to be teachers to be dedicated. When they're dedicated to being teachers, then yeah, you know, finish out the program. If they finish out the program and they graduate, and it should also be tied to a GPA. You know, if you're going to be a teacher and you're going to get a free ride because you're being a teacher, there does have to be certain things. You've got to hit a certain GPA. You've got to finish the program. But at that point, if you go to work at public school, you're a state employee anyway. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Irish Connection says, in Ireland right now, in U.S. dollars, $10 a gallon. Y'all need to quit bitching. It does suck, but that's proof right there, boys and girls. It could be a whole hell of a lot worse. Well, see, that's the thing, Russell. We're not talking grants. We're talking about you go to school, you sign up to be a teacher, you sign a contract, basically. It's not a grant. It's not like they're handing you money to do with whatever. It's funded by the state. So let's say it's a 4-year curriculum. You know, holy shit, I can never move to Ireland. Mad Dog, a pack of smokes is almost $20 in Ireland. Irish, if I ever visit, I'm going to have to bring do you have to pay like a tax or something on, beer's going to be cheap. Stop it, Hero. You're out of luck. Can I bring cigarettes into the country or do I get taxed on them if I bring them in? True, in New York. Now, when Mad Dog and I worked at home, when we went out to Texas, and it might be just because it was in the hotel, but I ran out of cigarettes. I had to pay $17 for a pack of Marlboro Light 100s. Irish. Tiffany wants to know what is the minimum wage in Ireland in U.S. dollars right now. Ireland is an expensive place, guys. You can bring 200 cigarettes tax-free. Ooh. So basically, okay. So you can only bring a carton of cigarettes to Ireland. Okay. Fair enough. Minimum wage in dollars, Tiffany, is about $11 an hour. So there again, you know, ours is $7.25. Erica says there's a gas station here in Phoenix where the owners are charging $1 less than the rest of the valley, so it's around 470ish. And Erica, that's a very good point, because if they're able to sell it $1 less than everybody else, the profit margins are there. And they're probably also looking at what they lose in margin they make up in volume, which is very, very smart. Hero says $4.60 a gallon last time. Okay. Hybrid says $4.39. Really? Hybrid, yours is $4.39? But you're outside of the perimeter. You're not in the city, so that makes sense. $4.30. Irish Hero want to know how much beer was in milk in Ireland. $4.39 in Chesney. Russell was $4.23. What? I don't recall it. That doesn't make sense, Hero, because you would think in like the Atlanta market, the gas would be more expensive. But welcome to South Carolina. Anyway. True, Erica, they usually don't make a profit. But they do make a killing on like the goods in the store. Wow. Hey, anybody in the chat, do y'all have a Buc-ee's anywhere? I'm just curious. There's a reason why I'm asking that. But yeah. All right, Irish. I don't drink in bars. So, like, how much is a 6-pack of beer at the store? Stopped at the Buckles. Mm-hmm. Oh, you did? Mad Dog, you went to the one in Florence, did you? How was that? Mad Dog, are you excited about next Monday? I am. Had to leave, too crazy. I heard that the traffic was like insane around that thing. Hero says, is it worth the hype? I've got to look and see how many they have in Alabama, so when Matt's on next week, I can ask him. That last video you tagged us in, Mad Dog, about the I'm going to fight you now, that was hilarious as hell. Oh, Tiffany, next Monday, I have Matt Mitchell from It's a Southern Thing. And if you tell me that you do not know who he is living here, I can't talk to you anymore. So Matt Mitchell from It's a Southern Thing, the guy who does Bless Your Rank. He ranks like the Little Debbie cakes. He ranks like, all this other stuff. Oh, see, OMG, she knows what I'm talking about now. That is going to be a great, great show. I am looking forward to that tremendously. We're fans of him here in this house. Oh, okay. So, yes, he's going to be on the podcast Monday, Tiffany. It's going to be great. I cannot wait. Absolutely hilarious dude. For so long, we were trying to get Scott Seiss, who did, does all the TikTok videos about, I'm never going to shop here again. He's like, good. Why not? We haven't got him yet, but I think this will be better because we're from the South, and I think it's more our people. He did the biscuit ranking, and it was great. Yes, everything he's done is great. And the stuff he does for football, which isn't really affiliated with It's a Southern Thing, is fantastic because I'm a football fan. I'm a college football fan, and his shit's great. And he did it. I would recommend, if you haven't seen the video when stores meet. And he's talking about like all these different retailers meeting. It's pretty funny, especially when it gets to end with Kmart. It's great. So, but it's been some it's been fun. I'm looking forward to that greatly. It's going to be a good time. But anyway, so it's 9:20. I know we started late and whatnot. It's all good. Little random talk. Wednesday. So Wednesday night. Unless something changes, okay? We're going to be talking about the lost art of staying in your lane and knowing your role. And, come on by because that's going to be good. what that's really about is about people that you work with that think they're your boss, but they're not, or think that they can tell the boss how to do the job and they should listen to them. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So thank all you guys for showing up tonight. I know we had technical difficulties. We will do the Death Star episode. I could see the individual I was talking to, and, he could see me, but he couldn't get my audio or whatnot. We'll make it work because what he's got to talk about is fantastic. Hot lips. Yep. No, Russell, he's going to start. The question is whether he starts for long. But anyway, so everybody, if you miss Wednesday, that's fine. But be here Monday. Tiffany, I know you know a lot of people that probably watch Matt, and it's a Southern thing. I want a lot of people here for that one. It's very, very important. And, the more people we get, the better off it'll be. If it goes well, I'm going to try to get Talia on. I mean, I'll just go through the cast or whatnot. I mean, it's fine because I really do enjoy what they do. But I want there to be a lot of people here. It's going to be clean. It's going to be family friendly. And I'm not going to cuss. I mean, it's meant to be a good time. And because I really enjoy his brand of humor and I think he's hilarious. And, part of what we're going to do, I'm going to ask him about how he got involved with It's a Southern Thing and Red Clay Media and, things like that. Because he's great. And, he doesn't do a lot of stuff like this. I've looked. And so there is a possibility between now and then something can change and he won't do it. Okay. But as of now, it's 100% go. I will make something shareable. Okay. I'll post that tonight, Tiffany. So be on the lookout for it in the next 24 hours or whatnot. And I'll make it shareable. Because if we have a lot of people, we'll try to get as much questions as we can and whatnot. I do have a list of things I'm going to send the person who's kind of organizing this, stuff like, pick, what do you think about Walmart versus Target? Or what do you think about CVS versus Walgreens? Or what do you think about such and such? Because he's pretty popular. He's got like 83,000 followers on YouTube and whatnot. And when I approached him and I emailed, it's really about just having a good time. It's about, having something for the people that have supported us, something, light-hearted and fun. And my family, we love their stuff. We really do. It's dead on. And for you people that live in the South, you watch it, it is. So it's going to be a good time. So please, 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 if there's ever one time where I've asked anybody to share the hell out of it and get as many people in there as possible, this is the one. What I'll do is when the stream ends, I'll post it on Facebook here in the next hour or whatnot, make it shareable. You guys flood everything. So I'll post it on the Retail Warzone Facebook page. I'll post it on my personal Facebook page, and we'll go from there. Because I do believe they get a lot of stuff from Facebook more than they do Twitter. I mean, I'll post it on Twitter, but Facebook is going, oh, good one, Hybrid. Waffle House versus IHOP. I will write that down. Yes. Congratulations. You win. But I want you to share it. Tell everybody you can because it's going to be a great, great time. And I'm just going to kind of let them go. It's like, just say what you need to say. We'll have him for an hour. I don't want to hold him over. Also, to be on time. Don't be late because we're going to hit the ground running because I'm extremely appreciative that he's taking the time to be here, but I don't want to hold him up. So, he's in Alabama and, they're an hour behind us. So when we go live at 8, it's 7:00 there. So whatnot, but bring your questions. I mean, I'll ask as many questions as I can. I'll get as many to him as we can. Let's have a good time, and spread it, tell people to subscribe, tell people whatever. So it'll be fun. But anyway, thank you guys for showing up for something that was kind of random and, last minute thing. Wednesday night will be more proper, so to speak. And come with your stories and whatnot, and we'll have a great time. So everybody have a great night, and we will see you soon. Thanks.